There's no better feeling than when a big box of Lego parts shows up at your door, so let's open this thing up. There's some weird stuff in here and I'm excited to look through it. I only ordered this stuff to get weird parts. Not a lot of practical things going on in here, and that's okay. That's okay. So let's see what we can find, and more importantly, let's see if we can figure out where some of this stuff even came from. Okay, never has a BrickLink seller done this to me. This is horrible. Oh my goodness. There's a bunch of orange plates like that too. A big theme of this order became these hose pieces, mostly because they came in a lot of surprising sizes and colors and were super cheap. So these turquoise ones definitely caught my eye. They were released in a bunch of Technic sets from the late 90s, early 2000s, mostly education sets. I do believe the first Mindstorms unit was actually had some turquoise accents on it. There's tons of these short ones. I was surprised to find the smallest size of hose in medium blue. Apparently this came in a rather obscure looking Bionicle set, the name of which I'm not going to attempt to pronounce. But this is not a part I ever see them producing again in this color, so I thought, hey, might as well snatch some of these. These silver ones are included in all sorts of sets. I know I got most of mine from Exoforce. BrickLink says that the yellow version of the hose only came in that Technic Battle Droid set, which is pretty crazy to me. No idea what I'm gonna use them for, but it's a cool piece. It's such an interesting material too. Quite springy. Next up is a bag I'm not gonna go into in too much detail. This is for another project. A bunch of orange pieces, basic pieces, and cannot believe this BrickLink seller stacked all the plates on top of each other. That is horrible. If you are selling things on BrickLink, don't do this to people. Tempted to give that neutral review. I don't think I will, but I am tempted. Dark brown is always a great color to have. Here we got some inverted slopes. This is a surprisingly useful piece, especially in dark brown for making furniture, ceilings. Great for Hogwarts interiors. These pieces were unfortunately not ones that I ordered. I wanted these to be in trans orange from Mars Mission, because I actually have been using this piece in some mocks. Did not want these. I have tons of these in the trans brown, so that's unfortunate. This seems to have all sorts of odds and ends. Of course, we got some more hose pieces in black, which I actually think will be a lot more useful than some of those more obscure colors. So I do like those. A lot of these more Bionicle-like pieces are to remake some old sets, specifically a Mars Mission set again, and some Alpha Team Mission Deep Freeze sets. I actually parted with most of my Bionicle stuff, gave it to a friend, and not realizing that a lot of those pieces had come in system sets that I now am unable to rebuild. So I'm slowly getting some of these pieces back together. So that's what these are all for. These are just cool pieces. They are not in great shape. Oh, look at that. Someone's rolling around. That's the problem with having all these hose pieces rolling. These are in really bad condition, but I actually have been using these on a Hogwarts Express mock, of all things, and I did run out, so I find myself using these more often than not. These profile bricks, 1x2, are great for getting some texture in so many different things. I have a ton of dark orange ones that I use in a lot of builds, of course, tan, gray, good pieces to have. These are for, these actually bought for a reason. These are for another project. I'm not going to open this bag lest everything flies out all over the place, but these pieces, the yellow flowers, I actually do use quite a bit on builds. I love how it contrasts with greens, and these are just cheese slopes I don't have a lot of in that color. Let's see if we can get rid of the glare. There we go. Dark tan. I love dark tan. I guess that was open. So these are all going to be for rock work. I go through dark tan pieces quite a lot. So got a bunch of these larger pieces. Again, kind of scratched up. You can all tell these came from bulk lots that this guy's buying. And then we have a bunch of just small slope pieces. It looks like there are a handful of inverted slopes in here as well, which is awesome. I don't have a lot of those. I'm never gonna pass up the opportunity to get some sand red pieces if they're a decent price. Sand red is it's my most wanted color right now, but we're probably never gonna see it again. So not incredibly useful pieces, but I'm gonna try to use these in something one day. The rest are for lava. I tend to use these a lot. Especially in like Minecraft builds, these make great lava. You can put lights underneath them, and so they actually glow. These are always great to have. Okay, now we're gonna get to the fun stuff. First of all, got one minifigure. So this guy's from Alpha Team Mission Deep Sea, but now I have one of Ogle's minions for the first time, which is super exciting. I love getting that helmet piece in trans green. Quite the funky character right there. These guys are pretty expensive. But I use them all the time. So I actually use these on the Schloss Drakkenberg for vines. I have another upcoming build that utilizes these. Really, really cool piece. In green is super useful just for vines, foliage, all sorts of stuff. Oh, I forgot one boring bag. Got more of these. I use these on my Harry Potter minifigure stand, so I got more of those. Planning on using these guys for rocks in some sort of terrain builds. Always good to have. Again, they got some glue residue, not super awesome, but buying from the seller did say most bricks did come in pretty rough shape, so can't fault him for that. Now to the exciting stuff. So these guys we've seen a few times already. They're just in a different color, this time light bluish gray. I can never have enough of these. I think they're great bricks. These guys are from the 2001 Harry Potter sets. I have actually always been missing two of these. Two of the kits I had just didn't come with this piece for some reason. So I bought these for like $2, which seemed reasonable to me. And now I can finally complete all the kits at the same time. These are really funky pieces, and I cannot imagine LEGO ever producing something like this again. So yeah, was not gonna pass up the opportunity to get a few more. These guys, these are the real reason I did this order. These only ever came in one set, that being the flagship set of the Egyptian sub-theme of the Adventurers line. The Big Pyramid set, I'll have to look up that name one more time. But the set came with 10 of these pillar pieces. And this is just an awesome piece for creating castles, and of course in tan, it's a must-have. I only have 2 of these, but now I have 9 more. These will need some polishing and some cleaning up, but I'm excited to really, really use these in a lot of mocks in the future. These guys are another oddball. So these only were also included on one set, and that of course is Aerotube Hanger from Life on Mars. So you'll figure out what the true purpose of these is, because I'm going to be reviewing that set very, very soon. And these were actually introduced into that set later on. These were not included in the initial run. I have an earlier copy of the set that does not include this piece, and you'll see why this piece actually exists for that set when that video comes out, hopefully very soon. And these pieces are so awesome. So rust is a long discontinued color that I can't imagine ever coming back. So when I have a chance to buy a few pieces in rust, I definitely take that up. This is the only rust colored piece I have. I have like a few more of these as well. They're included in old city sets, so they're fairly common, very cheap, but it's a really unique color. It has a very, very soft look and feel. It's almost not ABS. It's surely not ABS. It's quite flexible. It's a really weird piece, really weird color, but I love having this rare discontinued stuff that they'll never make again, so had to get more of it. I don't have a lot of these. They're not terribly uncommon. Just these radar dishes, 2x2 radar dishes in reddish brown. I use some for the Drakkenberg, so I do tend to use them from time to time, and I only have 2 in my collection, I believe. So I've got these 2x2 radar dishes in sand blue. These guys actually only appeared in 4 different microscale Star Wars sets. So yeah, these are not incredibly common. Might be produced again one day. There's a lot of sand blue parts being made, but just in case they weren't, now I have some. And then that leaves my favorite pieces for last. I was really excited when I found these on the store. So I have some of the bottles. I think I have 2 in this trans dark pink. I definitely don't have one in red, and I definitely don't have one in trans green. So this is a piece I actually use very frequently in interior spaces. They're almost the size of a minifigure. Let's take a look here. Oh, where did I put in? These were originally developed for Belleville, but it's such a cool looking piece. I love putting that on shelves and stuff. So having one in trans green is super awesome. They have also produced it in trans red. It only came with a Junior's Pirate set. I really, really want to get that one in trans red, but they also have a trans blue one as well. That's a little more common, came in a lot more Belleville sets. But then I'll have all the colors of these. Yeah, I don't see them making this again. It's just such an impractical piece given its size compared to a minifigure. But it's a really cool mold, and the transparent colors are beautiful. Even the red. This actually, I believe, came in a lot of Fabuland sets, of all things. So, again, Fabuland characters are pretty large, so it made sense there more so than it does in a minifigure setting. The only minifigure set that comes to mind would be Diagon Alley Shops. Came with one of these. That's where I got one of mine from, and the other one I have no idea. Sometimes Lego just kind of like shows up in the collection, but that's those. Well, it looks like that is it. I'm excited to put these pieces to use and hopefully get a refund on the pieces that were wrong. That is kind of the gamble you get with ordering stuff from BrickLink. Very rarely do I get an order that is 100% accurate. A lot of these sellers put through a lot of orders and mix-ups happen. However, I am really bummed that I got this relatively common piece instead of the trans orange one, which is much more rare, and I paid a bit more for it. So we'll see if we can get that sorted. Why BrickLink instead of Bricks and Pieces? BrickLink, of course, has the parts that have been discontinued for years, and that's what I love about BrickLink. You can also get minifigures that Bricks and Pieces wouldn't otherwise sell. Most of the pieces here were either more expensive on Bricks and Pieces or just aren't for sale at all. That's why we saw a lot of weird, rare pieces, because I try to do a lot more orders through Bricks and Pieces now because it's a lot more cost effective and much more reliable. They don't make mistakes, and those parts are brand new. These are obviously very, very used parts, well loved, but I hope I can breathe some new life into them, put them in something cool. That's it for this time. You'll be seeing some of these pieces again very soon though.